Let's take a look at legal considerations in compensation. Employers do not have free rein in designing pay plans. For example, the 1931 Davis-Bacon Act lets the Secretary of Labor set wage rates for laborers and mechanics employed by contractors working for the federal government. Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act makes it unlawful for employers to discriminate against any individual with respect to hiring, compensation, terms or conditions of employment because of race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. The Fair Labor Standards Act, originally passed in 1938 and since amended, contains minimum wage, maximum hour, overtime pay, equal pay, record keeping, and child labor provisions that are familiar to most working people. One familiar provision governs overtime pay. It says that employers must pay overtime at a rate of at least 1.5 times the normal rate of pay for any hours worked over 40 in a work week. Specific categories of employees are exempt from the FLSA or certain provisions of the Act, and particularly from the Act's overtime provisions. A person's exemption depends on his or her responsibilities, duties, and salary. To minimize the risk of independent contractor misclassifications, employers should execute written agreements with all independent contractors. Employers should not impose work rules on or attempt to prohibit independent contractors from working for others. They should also require contractors to provide their own tools and be separately incorporated business entities. The Equal Pay Act, an amendment to the Fair Labor Standards Act, states that employees of one sex may not be paid wages at a rate lower than that to paid of employees of the opposite sex for doing roughly the equivalent type of work. Various other laws influence compensation decisions. For example, the Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits discrimination against qualified persons with disabilities in all aspects of employment. Each state also has its own workers' compensation and other applicable employment law.